put like Jeet. So it was like Jeet didn't understand anything other than like somebody's name. Like
Yeah.
he'd be like, wait, that's not your name. Like you came, that's what people don't understand. Jeet came here purely foreign. You were like foreign. Like you didn't really like the culture of what we did. It was, oh, we
Mm-hmm.
live?
Oh, it just went live. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Let
Send
me
me the
get
link.
this link. Let me get this link. Oh man, never thought I would do something like this.
I mean, shit, you.
All right, I just sent it to your IG. Let me know if you got. Let me post this up here too. I've been listening to a lot of Joe Rogan too. Maybe that's why I was just inspired.
I mean, listen, huh?
Shares post. Uh, we're live. Oh shit! Look at my stupid ass face, doing stupid shit. All right. Bader, huh?
My man Beta's locked on.
He just liked something that I saw.
About to
He
say,
lives. He lives right down the street from me.
does he?
Mm-hmm.
We're live.
All right. Well, I guess I'll do this. Like, all right, we are live. Come check us out live on YouTube. Link in the bio. I'm with my boy Blackheart Supreme, talking about engineering and everything to do with it. And if you're not interested in that, then fuck off. This is. Yeah, so I mean, I'm trying to be less aggressive, but sometimes I can't help it, man. I get too excited.
I see.
Man, let me get a lot of messages saying like, "Who are you talking to? You got a problem with me?"
I'm like, oh Lord.
Jeff Greenspan, you remember Jeff? Do you remember Jeff?
Oh yes, the guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He's right here. He's like, "What's up, boys?
my guy.
What's up with you, dude?" It's so weird. If I'm looking there, it's only because my YouTube screen is there, so the comments are there. That's why.
Oh, that's my guy. He be playing that guitar like a motherfucker.
Oh, Jeff just said that was aggressive, Jeet. See, told you.
See, I felt it. Right at the end, I felt kind of
Too
real.
much? Too much?
Cool, you know. Hey, some people sign up for it, some people won't.
Yeah, now I'm regretting that shit. Nah,
Cool,
look,
it's live. It's
people
live
know
television,
me.
baby.
People know me. I'm not. I'm the softest dude you'll ever meet. So
Cool.
if I say fuck
That's how
off,
good.
it's only.
I got you though.
Thank you, my bro. All right, here we go. So here with my boy Blackheart Supreme. I will never get used to calling you that, man.
Yeah, when Jeet met me, he was straight, coming straight at NYU.
It's like, this is New York? No. Let me show you New York.
Yeah, he was like, yeah. It's like, what the hell is this? No. You see this? This is twerking.
Here we go.
You feel me? Jeet ain't never been the same.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's where I met you. I met you at Engine Room.
Mm-hmm.
And we've known each other for a while, but I haven't talked to you in a bit. When's the last time we talked?
It's been a while. All
Like
right,
a year?
probably running you at Andrew.
I think it was like a year ago. I think I bumped into you. I think I was showing my uncle around the studio.
Oh yeah.
And bumped into you. I think you were doing a session or something.
Sounds about right. Yeah, if I was there, it's probably doing a session or hanging out.
Yeah. Hey, congrats on the Casanova thing. Just dropped.
Oh yeah, that just dropped. Shout out. Everybody go stream that. Produced by Buddha and Grants. Mastered by the man Millis.
Man, can we just talk about Millis for a second? We're gonna talk about you the rest of it, but
That's
he's
my
a
guy.
fucking beast. What?
He's been doing all. He did set tripping too.
His mastering is just like, he pays attention.
Most definitely. That's my guy. I just spoke to him not too long ago.
Yeah.
We always working. I like to keep, like, because even when I'm doing other projects, I just have, you know what I mean, if I'm able to. He just masters. He just gets what I need to get. Like he finishes it off, you know.
I remember Danny was the first guy I talked to where he was like, I'm just going with Millis from now on.
Yeah.
You know?
Right with Millis. I mean, shoot, it's like ain't that many mastering engineers in New York. I mean, there's a good amount, but like it's like shoot, I grew up with him, so why not just use him? You feel me? We all gonna grow together.
Taking your peers with you.
Yeah, might as well.
Right.
Yeah, you know.
That's crazy. Yeah, he's a beast, man. And I'm thinking of having him on too. I think he'd get like a really cool perspective on things.
Most definitely. Everybody listen. Everybody goes, you mixer and master? Well, technically, I just mix.
Yeah.
But I got somebody who masters. You feel me? It's gonna cost this much.
So all right, let's get into your story, man. Like I have only know you from Engine Room, right? That's where I met you. But like where did it all start? What was growing up? What's the music you were into? When did you get into music? What happened?
I mean, all that stuff was like, you know, I grew up in church and all that, so playing drums and stuff. But like the engineering aspect, that started when I was like in 11th grade. So what happened was my school allowed you to go to like vocational school. So like basically like 4 periods out of the day. We only had 8 periods. So 4 periods out of the day, you could go do like a school, do whatever trade you want. So people did like weightlifting, whatever you did, music program, sign me up. You know what I mean? So we went there, and what happened was I had a homie who rapped. You feel me? So we went there, and he was recording his first project, but I didn't know how to record. So it was with Cubase. So what happened was it was a second year student, you feel me, who helped us record the whole project. Yeah. So I'm watching them this and the third. So what I didn't know was the second year's one of their project was to record a whole project and mix it. But he didn't tell us that. So what happened was after everything was done, we go to give it to the teacher. And it was like, he's like, I have this. I'm with the only other person who did this. I'm like, you gave it to him? He's like, no. I'm like, so who gave it to you? And he tells, I'm like, look at my man. So yeah, he's never gonna touch our music again. No, nobody ever do this again. Nobody's gonna see, because now I understood how music leaks. You know what I mean? That engineer who did this and that, I was like, oh, okay. So you know what? I'm gonna hold the music now. So
instantly burned by the industry.
Instantly, you know what I mean? Because I just wanted to produce. That's all I wanted to do was make beats. You know what I mean? So I would be making beats, and then whatever we'd be doing, he'd be recording. And I was just, obviously, I'm watching them, like, because I'm interested still. Like, I know this aspect. Like, all right, cool. Man, when he did that, it's over. I just engineered, and I just started my journey. So every day, like engineering, then we produce and produce. After I make the beat, I record them, and that's how we got into it every day.
That's crazy. You took a negative and said, like, fuck it.
We're not doing
let me just take control of all this.
Yeah, that wasn't happening. And then from there, I went to college.
Where'd you go?
New England Institute of Art in Boston. Mm-hmm. So I was supposed to be there for 4 years. Graduated a little early, but bachelor's and all that. Now college was like, it's like interesting. Like I never tell people not to go to college, never people to go to college. It's always like your choice. Mm-hmm. But like school is really like one of those, especially when you go to schools like that, is really what you make it. You know what I mean? Because it's nobody really like, music isn't one of those things like you force somebody to do. Like you can't force somebody to practice mixing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I give you what I give you. Either you gonna take the time out to really like learn the material, or you're not. Because school, like it's really just about doing what they ask you to do. You know what I mean? But being better is like taking the time out. Like you go to school and pass and get an A. Like, okay, they wanted you to do a mixed project. Cool. As long as the project is actually did what they asked you the requirements of this list is, then you'll get a passing grade. Cool. Right. Now, when you leave here and you get into the real world with these people who really sat down for hours and really studied the board and what was going on, nah, it's gonna be different. You know what I mean? It's a whole different aspect. So it's like with that, it's all about what you make it. Whether you go to school, whether you get an intern, you start there. But I did this school thing, did that whole work. My first studio was Sanctum Sounds in Boston. It was downtown financial district. So like that's where I got like my first like real aspect. That's why I worked with like Lil Wayne's and people like Young Money, Cash. All that stuff was when they was first starting to bud and see. Whoa. Yeah, like they was like, that's what I seen. I was like, oh shit, this is rapper shit. Okay. Like, damn. Oh. Because, you know, Boston wasn't like, they used to come through, but sometimes you get like these rappers and like the owner Steve Catazone, he was like a producer too. You know what I mean? So he had different aspects, and he knew different people, so they would just come through. And that's when I really saw like what a studio was. Like my first time, like I'm in the studio. So I understood like what it was to be a fly on the wall. Like, do not say nothing. Like saying something interrupts a vibe if they didn't ask you something. Yeah,
that's that's one of the first things I tell my students. Like, don't kill the vibe.
Yeah, just chill out. You feel me? If they already allowed you to be there, they know, trust me, they noticed that you're there. You know what I mean? Do not think they did not notice. Don't ever think you're so like, oh yeah, you just blended in that well. No. But if they let you rock out, then just chill.
Did that come naturally to you? Like just hanging out? Like what made you say like, let me not go too far, let me not push any buttons?
I mean, I always grew up with older people, so it's like just the way I was raised, just like, just chill out. Like everything would be just like if they rock out with you, though, you know what I mean? Everybody let you know. So you just when you get into that aspect and it's just like, okay, cool. Like, and even in school, they did say to you, like, yo, don't go in there thinking you're the man. So it's like, okay, cool. Like, let me just chill out.
But feeding off the energy, that's not a skill that a lot of people have. Some people can't sense that energy and they just go off.
Yeah, they go crazy. Ooh, they just think like, they say, oh, hey, I like you, you're cool. And they think they're like a best friend now. You know what I mean? They want to go drink with you and smoke weed. It's like, bro, you about to you're going to get yourself X'd out of this situation real early. And you're not even going to know why. And nobody will even say anything to you. You'll just come back the next day and you think you're going somewhere and they'll be like, you're not going there today. You'll be like, why? Yeah, you're not really welcome there. Okay? We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. You got to be very self-aware, right? Like, wait, what did I do wrong? You got to think for a second. Like, what did I do? Yeah.
And I saw like even the responsibilities of being in the studio all the time. He had me doing stuff. I don't think I really like, this person's coming. I need you to write me a check. I need to write a check. What? I don't need to write my own. Okay, so writing checks. I'm like, oh, I had mad responsibility, cash and checks, but like that let me know he trusted me. Yeah, and that allowed me to him to have me sitting on other sessions and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like being that fly on the wall, people notice it, but you also got to be the fly on the wall who's seeing what's missing. You know what I mean? So you got to see, okay, cool. Like the table's starting to get cluttered with trash. Let's take the trash off and clean it off because see, that's what they see, and that's what make them say, "What's your name?" Oh, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Because you added something. Because right now you're not really adding anything. You're actually like kind of interrupting my vibe. I don't know you, so like, why are you in my bubble? If you're cleaning and you're doing this and you're making it, oh, you need somebody's like, yo, it's getting hot here. Oh, let me just turn the AC down. I don't need you to ask me. You already said it's hot. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm thirsty. Is there more water around here? Why are you sitting there looking around like there's no waters? Let's go get some waters. I'll be back. You know what I mean? Is it tea? Let me bring all the tea packets, not just one. You know what I mean? Like those
anticipating.
Yeah, always, because
that never ends, right? Even when you're engineering, I'm sure you still think like, let me figure out. Yeah,
engineering is like a movie because it's like every aspect. Because it's like it all depends what kind of artist you're dealing with, but you got the artist you got to pay attention to. You might have like a person who like works with the artist, so that person's talking to you about their sound. You got maybe the homie over here who's trying to order some food. You feel me? You got maybe mad people back here just talking. You know what I mean? So it's just like these are all the different things you got going on today. You know what I mean? Just in this session. You know what I mean? You got to be on point with the artist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, handling all that.
And handling all that. Like that's why like even when you get in bigger studios, it's real dope to have like good interns. You know what I mean? Because the interns really make your studio like go. You know what I mean? They make the engineer look good, the owners, everybody.
That's true.
That's what it really is. And that's what that's how I look at the aspect. Like, even if I was engineering, I was still like an intern. So it was like I didn't have a problem taking out trash. Like any intern, no, I'll clean up with you. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have to it wasn't like, oh yeah, just because I'm hired and you like we're not gonna help. Nah, we're all gonna get this go through together.
Sounds like you had like the whole humble, like humility thing right off the bat.
Yeah, it was just like whatever. It really wasn't like, oh, it's not that serious to me. Like I'm not gonna touch any trash. Like, you know what this means? I have to sit here with you until this is done. So, you know what this really is? Let me help you clean this up so we can all go home. You know what I mean? Like, like I've been here for mad long. You feel me? Like I have to sit here and like wait for this and like just sit here like, yeah, clean. No, let's clean this all up so we can all go home. You
Yeah,
want to go
yeah.
home? I want to go home. Let's get this done. You know what I mean? Like, and we're out. Yeah.
Man, you always make me laugh. I don't know what the
4 o'clock in the morning, bro. Like, I gotta come back here at 10. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, what up, Tiffany? She's one of my students. So this is my boy.
you
Yeah.
know,
So they're
so
coming
like,
in. They're coming in. So you did the school thing and you were interning at the same time. You started learning like how to, whether you knew it or not, subconsciously, whether it came to you or not, you started to understand how you needed to act in a studio, like how you needed to be around people coming in.
whether it was celebrities or just regular person. First of all, the whole thing about it was everybody was a celebrity if you were paid. Like I took like the whole type of like hotel type of manner. Like if they're paying, obviously you're somebody.
Yeah.
Whether they're a celebrity or not, they paying. You know what I mean? So like that was that whole aspect of everything.
You know? Fascinating.
You know,
and so after that, say it again.
It's like hospitality. That's all.
Yeah, but that doesn't come to a lot of people naturally. They go in like, all right, I'm going to be the next producer. And what's the fastest way to get there? You know, they don't think hospitality. They don't think, you know what I mean?
A lot further, like actually like being cool and down to earth than you do being arrogant. You know what I mean? Because you'll come to realize like the super like celebrities type of people who are like super dope, they be bad cool. Like they be chilling. Like they're really not as arrogant. Like, yeah, maybe it's like when the lights are on this and the third, the entertainment starts, but like they be real cool. They're down to earth people.
Yeah. You know I mean? People just want to, like people want to work with people who are just cool.
Who know what they're doing, who are fast.
Competent.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they don't like to talk a bunch of times about the same thing. Like that's what really makes the difference. It's like, damn, I just told you to move the hook. Why did you don't know where the hook goes? Like, like, all right, this isn't gonna work. We're not gonna be here for 3-4 days with you.
Yeah. Because you're just getting in the way at that point.
So, yeah.
But that's interesting that like, because you just said that, okay, move the hook. Like sometimes you already know as an engineer, as a seasoned engineer, it's kind of like that intern mentality of like, okay, I know this is coming. Let me do it before he even says it.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Because it's like sometimes people have this whole like, I need you to tell me to do this. Why? Like, you know how the song is formatted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So especially like if you can hear it in the music, like if you can tell this is the hook, fly the hook there. They're gonna, like, the artist will love you even more.
When he finishes that second verse and the hook already comes in?
Man, they're like, oh, they think you're ill. You know what I mean? You know how many sessions I've been in, I just flew the hook in and they were like, oh, nah. Because you'd be surprised how long it takes some engineers to fly a hook off and get it like right.
Dead on.
You know what I mean? Like some of them not like always, because it's a real method to it, but like some haven't figured it out yet. You know what I mean? To actually just get it, just snap, and it's boom. Okay, cool. Second verse here. First verse, second verse, we're good. Song done.
Yeah, as an artist, you're not even thinking that that's coming. And when it comes, he's like, oh shit. This dude knows what he's doing.
Yo, okay, fly the hook here. Okay, I'm gonna do my second verse. Like, nah, more like, yo, you ready for your second verse? Oh, nah, fly the hook. Hook's flowing. Look, boom. Oh, okay, boom. Okay, on to the second verse. Now they feel good because it's like they have somebody that they're actually working with, and not somebody they have to sit there and just tell. Do this, do that.
That's like extra energy for them. That's taken away from their.
Exactly. And it helps the creativity because now they don't have to think about certain things. They can actually be creative.
Right. Yeah, it's fast. So, okay, so you start learning about studios. What happens after school?
It's like a 2-year, 3-year gap of me like not doing music, like just probably like just doing music at home, just living. I probably was in Boston for a year. Then I went to I was in Rhode Island randomly for a year. Then I came back to New York. Was it probably like 2015, 2014. Then that's when I probably got back into like the music scene, like really actually like getting into studios, stuff like that. So then I ended up basically what I was doing a door-to-door marketing job, bro, and I was not that shit not working out. You know, but it taught me basically how to like deal with people again though. you know, because I got to like door to door was like, you got to knock on somebody's door and get them to believe you in like a minute. Do you know like how hard that is?
Mm.
You
Like,
know,
who are you? No idea who you are. What are you trying to sell me?
you feel me? Some black dude in a suit. You feel me in the front door, like trying to tell me about like, I need you a credit card here, but I'm really trying to put like, it taught me like the overall like, okay, cool, like this is how you can understand and get to communication basically. Taught me better communication skill, right? Okay, so we do that. I'm like, all right, this isn't it. You need to find a studio. So I literally applied to like every studio in New York, like Quad, Premiere. My cousin Maserati Sparks told me about the studio Engine Room. He's like, yeah, we be going and we be recording this, man. Cool, got a cool vibe. I'm like, all right. Applied there. At the time, it was my man Benoit was the overall manager. He was like from France. I think he was from like France. Was it France?
Oh man, yeah,
Yeah,
we're from
he's from
France.
France. So like he was there, so he was like the overall manager. So he
The
like took
OG
everything.
manager.
Yeah, like he took care. He could do anything. Yeah, I mean, like Benoit could do anything. Yeah, we fix anything, build. I was like,
You
oh, I
could
don't.
tap into all kinds of networks and
Yeah, I
cameras.
was like, wait, this is it. Can you do this? He'd be like, oh no. I was like, okay, cool. I'm here. You feel me? Hey, you know, some things you just gotta be quiet about. Mind your business, you know. But he hired me, and it was so funny because he didn't know, like, because I hadn't dropped. Like most of the people who interned, they were coming from school. I hadn't been in school for like 2 years, so like I was like, well, what do you actually know?
Right.
You know what I mean? So he took the risk, hired me. And I remember like later on after, like, you know, we got to work together, he was like, you know, you really worked out. He was like, because I did not know if this was gonna work out. He was like, I
Wait, what
wasn't
was
sure.
that? What was the interview like with him? Do you remember?
It was simple. Like he really like, see, dang, the interviews they do near now is way more complicated. It was
Yeah.
more what I actually knew about patch bays and did I know the differences in microphones and like my availability and what I do this, what I do that. I'm like, yeah, it really didn't matter to me because I was just like, all right, I'm in the studio. You know what I mean? I never had the aspect of like some people that have this thing when you get out of school, like, oh, you have this certain amount of time where you're gonna go through this and they won't let you in the studios and this and the third. And it was just like, nah, you're crazy. There's no way in the world I'm about to be here for man long and not be in the studio. But the whole aspect is how do I get myself in the studio? You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, cool. So at the time, there was like an engineer named Pete, and there was a person named Ivan there, a couple other engineers, and I would just be like, whenever they had a session, I'd be looking at the schedule they had, whether I was like on like shift or not, I'm just popping up. You know what I mean? Because I knew other people didn't want to set up. I'll set up. Cool. I sit in? Yeah. Because at the same time, they knew like when I'm there, they don't have to do nothing. They don't have to do no trash. They don't have to do, they just get the engineer. So it makes their life easier. And I get to sit in. You know what I mean? So like that's how it all worked out for me. So then, you know, by the time you got there, I was GA. You
Yeah.
know,
That's when I met you.
yeah, I was GA there. For sure.
So you had no problem because you knew that like yeah, I'll set up a microphone because one, you get to learn. Like the more you do it, the more you get that
Repetition.
experience. Repetition. Exactly. Kind of like that flying the hook thing. If you've flown in a hook for 100 songs, it comes naturally. Now you don't even think about it.
Hey, oh, you know what's so crazy? I skipped the crazy aspect of like when I came back to New York before I even got to Engine Room, right? I used to record in this like hole in the wall place in like Southside Jamaica, Queens, with this dude named Don Black. Like when I'm telling you, it was small. Like, you know, when they talk about like, you know, it'd be 100 dudes in a little ass space. Yeah, that's where I was at. You know what I mean? Like, and that's really where I got like my first bit of confidence and like first paid. Like, so when people talk like, where did you first get paid in New York? It was this dude named Don Black, Southside Jamaica, Queens. You know what I mean? He was the one who paid me $15 an hour. You know what I mean? Where I just came from, I was working a job making like $9 an hour. So this was lit to me. $15. I got to smoke weed. I was like, oh, this is like crazy. I'm really getting paid to make make music. Like this is for real.
Yeah, $15 is good, man.
It was crazy. Like I just came from 9. This is lit. You feel me? It's like 2 hours 30. I'm like, oh, crazy. So, you know, every time I'm seeing him, it was like almost like a job I'm seeing him. So I'm seeing him like 3-4 times a week, bro. You know what I mean? So like even in that aspect, that's where like I met a lot of other people who come in later on to tie into my career to like take me other places. But just being in that little hub right there, I met a lot of people, but I was able to hone a lot of my skills. So I used to call that like my practice arena. So like, you know what I mean? Because I go, you know, like I say like dealing with the street rappers and street studios, like that let me like test drops. Oh, if they like it here, they're gonna love it over there. You know what I mean? That's when I really started doing like a lot of effects, and like a lot of people know me for like my drops and stutters and the effects I do on vocals, but that's where I really like started doing it in Southside, like in that little hole in the area studio. And
This
then
is before Engine Room, yeah.
this is before Engine Room. You know what I mean? Then like when I would still be going there, and then I'd be at Engine Room too. Like, I was always like flip flopping wherever the money was going. Like, oh, you want a session? I'm here, and then I'd go intern at Engine Room. You know what I mean? That's how I was able to survive going to Engine Room. Was really working there.
Working the what was the name of that studio?
It's called Men's Room. It was called the Men's. Like, you know, it's so funny. So the Men's Room was actually a clothing store, but in the back of it was like the room where they held all the stock and stuff. But he had a table. I'm trying to tell you, it was a table with some speakers, and he built some booth that he cut out with some like door, and he put carpet, like real carpet, in the booth, in the mic, and that's what we recorded in.
Literally a hole in the wall.
It was like a hole in the wall. Like the speakers had a hole in it. It was good, but that's how I learned. You know what I mean? Because I figured like I could do all this stuff here. Like a studio that's like stuff is already treated better, everything's it's gonna be easier. You know, so that was that whole aspect of that. So that's when I got to Engine Room. That's where I think a little bit of the confidence was different. Only because I had already been engineering, I got my chops back before I ever got back over there. So, you know.
How long did you intern before you moved up?
Ooh, intern? I don't know. Probably before like moved up to what? Probably
GA.
like a year. Probably like a year. Yeah.
A year?
Probably a year too.
But you were still engineering while interning.
Yeah, like my first engineering session at Engine Room almost got fired.
What?
Yeah,
What?
got fired because what happened was at the time it was an engineer named Ivan, right? So he's doing a session. He had like back in the days, Engine Room used to have like a couple engineers, so they used to do back-to-back sessions. So he first had like a 4-hour session and a 5-hour session and a 2-hour session, all in one, like back to back. So he put it was like I guess he had a long day and he was like, yeah, bro, I can't do this session. I'm burnt. He's like, you want to do it? I was like, sure. I was like, well, what's Scotty? You know what I mean? That the manager Scotty, he's like, what's Scotty gonna say? He's like, oh, I text him. Like, oh, all right, cool. I do the session, right? Finish the session. Session went well, you know. So at the end of it, the client gives me some money, but it was like way more than I thought it was gonna be, right? Than like for a tip. And I'm like, did you pay Scotty? Like, is this paid for? He said, yeah, it's already paid for. Like, this is for you.
Wow.
This is for me? It just don't sound right. I counted. I'm like, it's over. Nah, this not right. So I just go, I clean up, go home. I wait. Wait. Get a phone call. Scotty's on it. Hey, I'm missing some money. Where's the money? He wasn't so nice about it. I need the money. Where's the money? Wait, you did the session? Why did you do the session? I'm like, oh, damn. Man. He's like, bring me the money. I'm coming. I'm on my way. You feel me? So, like, I did that, but we sat in a room and he was just like, who told you this session? I was like, the only thing I had, I was like, did he complain? He was like, no, he had a great time. I was like, okay, so like I could work. You feel like I could work, I'm good. You know what I mean? But we had that, but like after that, then that's when it really started though. And I started getting questions. You know what I mean? He actually trusted me. But yeah, that was a rough
Wow. Big shout out to Ivan for throwing you the ball.
Yeah, because that's how I got my sessions.
Wow, I'm definitely props to Engineer and Scott for taking you on after that. So wait, so you started doing more sessions. You're still an intern?
Yeah, I'm still an intern. Most definitely. I'm still doing regular day shifts. So like, you know, I had like a couple of day shifts, couple of night shifts. You know what I mean? Because at that studio, like it was like different. It was like night and day. like over there, right? So then like during the day it was like real, like, you know, kind of corporate,
yeah.
And then like at night it was like, oh, the movie happens. You feel me? Because like all like engine room had these rooms in the back where like separate engineers would be there. So like they would only come in like at night. So like you would never see them. So I'm like, dang, like what's going on over here? Like you're in rooms and like all you hear is like music that's coming out on the radio. You know what I mean? Later on, but you're hearing, I'm like, wait, nah, there's a lot going on in here besides recording. You know what I mean? So I started venturing off into the back. You know, that's when I started meeting other people like Anthony Daniels and stuff like that.
Oh man.
Stuff like that.
Legend.
Yeah, like to just like meet those people back there and they were just mixing. You know, that's how I just always hearing his room just thumping. Like, what is going on over here?
You used to hang out with him a lot, right?
All the time, like, cause he was doing all the music that we were hearing. Yeah, I mean, he was doing a lot of the Trey stuff. Like, he did the first Montana Kodak record, you know, all those type of records. Lockjaw, that record that he did those records. Like, people, a lot of records that he did that people don't know. You know, and I met him there, and that's how, you know, the engine room and just kept interning.
Do you know where he's at right now?
Yeah, he's living. He's a mystery person, so he's not.
He is a mystery. He's a mystery.
You feel he likes it. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. You're not supposed to.
Dude, he's like one of those guys that like he is a mystery, but then you look at his body of work and it's undeniable.
Yeah, you can't, like, you've heard it. You've heard his work. Trust me. You're not gonna tell me you haven't, because if you listen to people like Trey songs and certain people like that, you've heard.
That's all him.
Yeah, he's not all of them, but a good amount.
Yeah. Didn't he? That's how he got the Trey thing, right? He was basically just hanging out.
To be honest, I don't even know how the full story of how that happened. You know, I never really. I probably heard the story, but I can't like regurgitate it back. Like,
yeah, I heard like different versions of it, but I never heard it from his mouth. You know, so I know.
Yeah, I don't know. I ain't hear from him when he just said it.
He's a mystery, but he's a boss for sure. For sure. Yeah, that's the cool thing about Engine Room, right? It's like at night, it's almost like the switch flips.
Yeah, it was like a community studio. Yeah. Like it was a studio, like most other studios. Like when you go to Premiere, like those studios are real, like private. So each studio was like their own space. You know, like Engine Room had like a lobby area that had a pool table, that had the tea, and the interns was in the front, and there was like a lot going on. So you had people betting on pool games, and you know what I mean. Then the session upstairs. Then it might be people's sessions in the back room. So it was like some days you didn't even know if it was sessions or it was a party or what was going on. It was so many people going on. But like that studio was like different. That's why it was like you got different aspects, because there was people doing electronic back there too. You know, so it wasn't just regular hip hop engineers, it was electronic engineers. So you get to hear, you know, like Lindell and all those people back there. So it was just like you were learning all different aspects. It wasn't just
Caffrey, you know, that was his name.
Oh, Mike Caffrey, yeah, the drum man. That man, he knew how to, like, his ear was totally different. Caffrey, his ear was too detailed. It was like one of those things. It was like, oh, okay, like his speakers was to the micrometer. You know, like,
he was very particular about that. But also, I think he had like the mentality of like understanding, you know, that that the art and the story is always the priority. Because I remember once, I think it was around the time me, you, and him were talking. He said, like, think about your favorite record. If the 15K was like 0.2 dB softer, would you really care? You know what I mean? So he had that perspective. He had that two sides.
He was like, nah, but I didn't even know it was a 0.2. All right. Like, I'm lost, but I get it. You know?
So
he was technical.
You're hearing, sounds like it's breaking up or something. I hope it's like not the internet, but hopefully you guys can still hear. If you're hearing a lot of shit, just let me know. I'm hearing it all kind of broken up. Crazy talent under that roof is what Jeff said, and that's true. That's the truth. A lot of talent at the back of those rooms. So you're still an intern, and you start to realize that there's a night and day, literally a night and day to that studio. There are two lives that run in that studio. So you start to hang out with the people in the back. You start learning all these different skills, and people whose records are on the radio, you start to learn all those techniques, and you start applying it, I assume, immediately.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, I want to play in the game too. You know what I mean? So I mean, I'm just taking what I know and I'm just basically doing a lot more in my sessions. You know what I mean? To make like my sessions a lot more smooth. Because in the beginning, it was a lot more about like being able to not really mixing. So it was like being able to like use a preamp and a compressor. You know, the right way to get a right vocal, to get it even like in Pro Tools, right? To go any further, you know? My bad. That's what everything was really about first. Yeah, because I couldn't like it wasn't about like not being able to, but then it was like, oh shoot, because like in Queens, it was just a preamp. I mean, like from a little inbox, so you did it like whatever you got in there, you got in there.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, now I got a microphone, I got a preamp, I got a compressor.
Options.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, I gotta like, but I gotta do this right. Because this is like almost destructive. You know what I mean? If I don't like it right, then like if this distortion is in this distortion, I mean, if this distortion is in this vocal, it's in this vocal. You know what I mean? And it's not coming out. So, you know what I mean? Like this is like one of the crazy things where it just disappears. Maybe you can mix it a little bit better, but it's there. Yeah, so like that's where that came from. So getting that recording right.
Yeah, and then you start doing the recording sessions. And then when did you say you moved up to GA? Like a year in?
Yeah, probably like a year and a half. Yeah, I mean, me and Danny, who started around the same, moved up around the same time. I think he was GA first or something like that, and then like maybe when he moved on into GA, you know. So we
And it
were
was
like,
kind of the same. Like it was kind of the same as GA. You were still just engineering, but you're just.
Yeah, I mean, GA was a little bit. I mean, at that point, I'm gonna do a little bit less work. You know, like it was a little bit more like, yo, like I still work with you, but it was like, hey, I need this done, need this done. But like, what I like to do with at least the people like when you worked with me was like, I may tell you this, but like I'm telling you so you can learn how to set up correctly. So like anyone work with me, I'll be like, I'll give you like a time. All right, so my session is like at 8, 7 o'clock. By this time, let's go get this set up. Okay, what do you want? I want to route it like this, just like last time. I'll be back at 7:30. 7:30 rolls in. Dang, what's going on? Like,
What happened?
yeah. Oh, cool. Let's do this real quick because my session's coming. So then we set up, but eventually they're gonna get it.
Yeah.
It's repetition. Like if you can't get it, then you start scaring me. It's like, oh Lord, 10 times. Like you still not getting it in and out. You know the patch changed on us. You know, it's same in and outs. You know.
You started seeing. So you started like teaching people almost in a way.
Yeah, I mean, in the aspect, it was like in reality, it's helping me. You know what I mean? Because if I'm reading, I can believe that this intern can set up and get everything there to the point where I could just come and just sit and record. You know what I mean? Like that's how like I want to be and eventually because they're gonna engineer. You know, so they need to know how to set up quick. You know what I mean? It was a lot of times in sessions, like an engine room, it was very time it was like the turnaround time would be mad quick. You know, oh, this session, then a podcast right after. You know, like so you went from a vocal session to having to set up like 4 microphones in the room with mic stands, getting a new preamp in here, like hooking this all stuff, and like you got like minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to start on time. You know what I mean? So it's just like, oh, can you do this in 20 minutes? And it's like, nah, it doesn't seem possible, but it is. You just got to know where you up. You got to know the room, know the patches, set it all up, get a template, and go.
Yeah, that place was like there were times where that place was just running like a machine, just in and out, in and out.
Like session, okay, vocal session. Okay, after vocal session, you got this session. I do sessions like, you know, it has 2 floors. So you have like the dubway rooms and then you'd have the up floor. So I might have a session in the dubway room. And then right after that, I got to go upstairs to a session upstairs. You know what I mean? So you're like, oh, not only am I doing like, I'm in a totally different room now.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally different vibes. So it's just always switching.
Like back to back, like literally back to back, right?
Session from 6 to 11, and another session from 11 to 4. But the 11 to 4 session is upstairs. I mean, your first session was downstairs. So you might need your interns to take the mic that was right here up by time, because you bouncing all the rest of the files, getting everything right, cleaning up the room, so the interns can get to switch off everything. You know what I mean? By the time this client come in, because when this client come in at 11, they want to start. They just want the room to be right.
Yeah, they don't care you had a session.
Yeah, like it's 11 o'clock, bro. It's time I started. You know what I mean? Whether they're late, but you being late, nah, that's not what you
that was one of the things that, like, I don't know if interns understood it. Like, helping an engineer set up not only improves your skills, but it builds camaraderie among all the engineers. Everybody starts to want to help each other.
Yeah,
like I remember, like, in those kind of back-to-back sessions, sometimes like if you were going 6 to 11 and like Leonard or somebody's up there, you might text them like, "Hey man, how's your session going? Because I'm about to jump in your room." And like everybody's aware of everybody, and like we all work together to make that place.
Because we all working together. I might need him to like do certain things up there to set me. So when I come up there, I might be quicker for me to do certain things.
Right.
Every engineer has their own little thing. So I might need you to, maybe he's using a different preamp compressor or this, whatever it may be. I just need you to switch to this. Leonard back in the days, Leonard, Shailene, Darley, like.
Oh, Darley.
Like really like.
Yo, Shailene. I miss that dude, man. I keep wanting to get him back here somehow. That guy.
He's chilling now.
He's chilling, but he's got to come back to New York. This is where he belongs, I think. Man. Oh, one of my other students is here, Miguel. How much for a shout out? Yeah. I'll charge him for a shout out. Now he's a good student. He's I think he's been to engineering a few times, and like he's showing some real promise. So like dude. Yeah, that camaraderie thing was huge. That was the one thing I'll never forget about engineering. How engineers just keep wanting to help each other and come up, and because if we all succeed.
We didn't have, like, most studios, like, a lot of the studios didn't have like an OG, like somebody to really show them like, hey, this is how you record. This is how it was like everybody kind of like taught each other.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't like, even though there were engineers in the back, like they wasn't dedicated to us. They were just doing their own thing.
Right.
And so, like, us teaching each other, like that was all we had to, like, okay, well, shoot, what are you doing in your session? What are you doing in your session? What compressor are you using? Oh, okay. What microphone? Does this do that to you? Oh, like that's all we doing. Like me and Sardi used to do that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, what are you? Yeah. We used to joke, like sometimes at a certain point we didn't really even know how we got to certain points in the mixes. Like we were just like, yeah, though. They loved it. Okay, dope.
Man, that's crazy. And then you so when did you actually leave engineering?
I don't know. I didn't leave.
I mean, like SGA. Like, when did you start just doing the freelance thing?
Probably about another year after that. Because I mean, before that, like, I had worked with I worked East. That's what really like started me.
Dave East.
Yeah, I started like that was like the other shout out to Sardi. That's how I got that one. Because Dave had came in, he had just signed to Def Jam. He was already signed with like Nas, whatever. He just got signed to Def Jam. He came out to the studio. It was supposed to be like, I knew he was there, but I wasn't doing the session. Sardi was. And I guess like a lot going on in them sessions. Sardi was like, this is a lot. He was like, you're free. I was like, sure. Sign me up. It was only supposed to be for 3 days. Dave, like, he went for like 3 months. Every day. And it was like, oh, this is life. Like 7 o'clock to like, it'd be like 10 to 7. Then we'd be back. He might come twice in a day. Like I had never recorded with somebody like that before. Like, like leave and then come back in mid-afternoon because he got to do something else, or go to the club and come back to the studio. It was like, oh, this is different. But like, because of that, I was able to quit my job because we got to a point where like couldn't go. He wanted to record again. I was like, oh, okay, again. Like when I tell you I work like every day in the studio. You know what I mean? Like every day. So that's what the work ethic and stuff like that, that's where that came from. I wasn't missing no days. You want time off? No, I'm good. Sign me up. He there, I'm there. You know, but that's how I got cool with Future, people like that, you know, working with East, you know. And that's what really like gave me the start of like being able to like, oh, you work with East. Oh, you worked with East before. Yeah. Yeah, me doing like certain records. Like I didn't do a lot of records. I didn't do like a couple records with Chanel. The one with Beanie Siegel. I recorded that whole one. Did his verse on the Fabulous record. Yeah, I think Eyes on Me. I think that's what it's called. Eyes on Me. And I think I did another record where I just recorded it. Because that whole tape was just about done. But I just did a whole bunch of other records that were later on. You know, but just working with him like day after day, it was like that introduced me like, okay, this is what engineering is.
Yeah.
You know, like it's mad. We want to talk about people, 30 people in the room. Yeah, it's 30 people in the room. Like that's when my interns really like became like my, because it got to the point where I'm so tired where I just call, hey, Darley, who's there? Darley, one of them is there? All right, yeah, tell them that I have a session at 8. They know what to do. They got me. Cool. Like, and that's how important the engineers, like, that's how, I mean, you know what I mean, having that relationship with my intern, like, because it was important. They saved me. They allowed me to, like, you know, like, act a little bit getting there because it was like, I knew they knew how to set up. I knew they knew where to get into that. So when I got there, it was just like, okay, cool. Now I can just record.
Yeah.
Because I'm here all night. You know what I mean? They knew, like, okay, cool, get ready. We're going to have 30 people get ready to call orders today. It's orders after orders, baby. You know what I mean? It's what we doing. You know, but
that was quite. Yeah. They were the dream team, Shailene Darling.
Yeah, they were what? Yeah, they were that was the dream. If they were both on the same day, it was gold. Gold. What? I felt unstoppable. They could do anything because they knew how to set up. They matching like because I worked with them like East like really allowed me to like really have the room so much. So the repetition was so much. So me doing a vocal patch, doing the same patch, at what point does that make for me to do it? Why not just teach them to do it so they know the vocal chain? Mm-hmm. The same usually vocal chain that we all are using. You know what I mean? At a certain point, we were all using the X73. Yeah. Give me the tech, and then before they got the CL1B, it was just so a lot of times using the distressor. You know what I mean? So like that was the thing. So it was like let's learn how to do this since this is gonna be the same thing. So you learn how to do this because you learn how to do this. Boom, and it's gonna be a movie, and everything's gonna work out.
That's the value of a good intern. Yeah, people don't understand that if you are a good intern, people like you and engineers who are doing the sessions will always call you and ask you to be a part of it.
Yeah, and then when it gets to the point where like I can't do the session, you the first people that come to mind.
Next in line.
Yeah, it's like there's no question, like because you mirrored everything I do. You know what I'm saying? Like you do what I do. So like, yeah, I can do the session most definitely.
Do you because I think some engineers like get a little self-conscious, like, oh, I don't want you to learn my secrets and you know my settings, my presets, but you never had that mentality.
Nah, because the people I learned for didn't have that mentality. Like a bunch of stuff is a bunch of EQ and compression. Like that's like what like you know I still talk to engineers. I literally just had a conversation about it. You know. Because people think that I don't mess up. Like if people heard the mix of what I did to the Run This Town cast record, I said that to him. He was like, "Oh, that's not it. You got to redo that." Now people might think I'm doing everything good. No. I still have somebody that I sent to somebody on me, and he's just like, "No, that's not right." That, and it's not like some people like, "Hey, the compression's off, this and the third." No. He's like, "You don't feel right." What does that mean? Like what? Like listen to you just gotta listen. You know what I mean? Listen to your record. Like it's not the same.
Did I ever tell you the story? Did I ever tell you the story with Daniel and who was it? Trey Songz. Which record was it? Oh wait, now I'm hearing my voice a lot. Is my volume down over there?
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing my voice a lot. But did I ever tell you this story? Like it was, I think it was the Tremaine record, right? Anthony Daniels was mixing, Mark was mastering it, and I guess it was like kind of an album where some songs flowed into each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
They'd tail into each other. There'd be like little skits in between as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I was in charge of like doing all the fades in and out, like one song to the skit to the next.
And so job right here.
Hey, that's the assistant. That's where the assistant shines, you know.
For real.
You hear that fade? That was me. That fade right.
That was my vibe engineer, okay?
So Anthony Daniels he's Trey's guy, right? So Ant would always come in and check in and be like, would tell me if it was there or not. But like, he'd never give me specifics. He'd be like, nah, it doesn't feel right, man. Like, try it again. I'll be back in like 20 minutes. I'm like, what? Like, do you want me to like 2.5 ratio? Like, no, just don't feel right. I'll be back. I'm like, oh, all right, okay. Try again. I'm like, wait, what the hell do I do? And then he'd finally come back. And then I remember very specifically, whenever I hit it, he'd be like, that's R&B right there. I'm like, I don't even know what I did, but all right, I'm gonna take your words for it.
Yeah, I swear to you, that's literally what he did to me too. He's so like, but it's necessary because that's how it like forces you, because it's like you find the answer. It's like, are you where you need to be looking? I mean, this right here don't feel right. Like, well, what is feeling like? Like, all right. You know what I mean? But like, I'll redo it and it's like, oh, okay. A whole new like.
Props to Ant and all those people, even to people like you who have patience to just like let people try and fail a little bit and trust that they'll figure it out.
Like, because if you don't, like, you'll never get nobody to be able to do anything, because nobody have no confidence. I mean, if they feel like they can't fail, like next year, if you feel like, okay, this person's so big, I can't fail next, they'll never like be able to like be a winner. You know, because if I'm not letting you, every time you mess up, I'm like, I know some people, like some engineers at certain studios, like they're barking on you messing up, they're going crazy. That don't do nothing for the people who are coming to work for you for free. You know what I mean? Like, these people are here for free. You know what I mean? To learn. Okay, they understand they got to take out some trash and clean some bathrooms, but they're here to learn. They're not here to be talked to the dogs or something, like, you know what I mean? Like, they mess ups. Nah, it's crazy. Nah, you don't do that. Like, it's
I totally agree with that.
Yeah, just quite continuously. Like, but obviously, it's a difference in somebody just messing up continuously. Now it's like, okay, you don't care. It's like, all right,
come on, bro.
Yeah, like this is not even acceptable no more. Like, you are too old for this. You know, like, it's crazy. You know, but most like, you got to give people a chance. You know, at least you give people the chance to see that at least trying. That's really what it was. Like, and that was the whole thing with like Shailene and Target. Like, they were coming to the studio all the time. They were always trying to like be in the session. They were always asking questions. So it was like, well, let me put the time into this, since they really actually want to be here. You know, and it worked out because those were the people, like, once I moved around, they started going up. And people like Leonard, who's still there today, like, who's still like, you know, does all that stuff. He just mixed the Young M.A. stuff.
I heard.
You know, yeah. And so like, a lot of friends came out of it. We did a lot of things out of the studio. Yeah.
That place was a place to grow and get your skills up, network. Man, it was a real hub, man. When I don't know what's like now, but like just like kind of like what you said, where like everybody's like bouncing off ideas and like there's no kind of like, I'm doing my shit, fuck you. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, what you doing? It's like, dude, you know me, I'm a rock guy, but I'd still hang out with you and Danny. Like, hey, how'd you use that delay right there?
I'm about to say, how'd you get that 808 going? What you trying to get a little bounce in your life? Okay, got you. Show you how this 808 over here. You know what I mean? Like, because it was just like, that was the dope thing, you know. It was a conglomerate. Like, even talking about like people like Michael Bader. Like, Michael Bader was probably the most like the technical out of all of us. So it'd be like things like I'd be in the middle of a session trying to figure out something on the SEC downstairs. I'd run downstairs, Michael, like, how do you do this? He'd be like, oh yeah, you're right. Okay, boom. Now I'm upstairs looking like a star again, but I did not know what's going on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, it was mad floating going on, and I didn't know how to float back.
That camaraderie was everything to me, man. I never ever forgot that, and like I always tried to give that back to that place. Just like I remember. Do you remember this? I don't know if you remember this, but like this is after I left, long time after I left. But I came and visited, and I think you were up there doing a session with Casanova. And I was leaving the building. I'd reached the bottom of the elevator, and you called me. Like,
oh yeah, I actually do remember that. And I called you. I was like, "Gee, did you leave?" Because I do remember that because you were like the manager at the time, so you knew everything on. So I was
this was after I was the manager. I had been the manager, but I had left already.
But you were the only one I knew who knew. That was the thing. So I think the room dropped. That's like one of the breakers went. And I had never seen that before. I was like, yo, in the middle of the session, just dropped. Whoa, what is this? And then I went downstairs and they were like, G just left. G just left. Like when? Like how long? Like 2 minutes ago. Oh, so he's still here. G, you got to come back. I don't know what happened. Everything's off. He's like, oh, don't worry about it. Break up. So, oh, okay. Woo. Yeah, okay. Like that was, I definitely get that. I do remember that day.
But you knew what it was. I just came back from moral support. You already knew what the deal was. I remember you said, "Is it the breaker?" I said, "You got it."
I was like, "Oh no, this is the breaker. It's gone. It dropped on us. All the power just drops. Oh no, this is crazy."
I think after we flipped it back, I went up to make sure the board turned on and everything, and Casanova was there. I was like, "Oh my God, please don't think that I'm the guy who did this. Please don't think that I."
No, he's here to fix everything. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, see?
Good. That was the thing. He was so cool. Like he was intimidating at first, but then as soon as you kind of got my back and was like, no, he's here to fix it all. And he's like, oh, okay, cool.
Like, yeah, I need him. He said, cool. I need him to fix this because I don't know what's going on.
That was it though. Yeah. That was if I had to sum it up, just like, you know, if one engineer failed, it's like the other one would come and just like, we got you.
Because I mean, that's how it is. Like, and that's what you see at like most studios though. Like the engineers have to look out for each other. You know, like because like we're getting like, sessions and they're not like a lot of people really don't know what engineers do. You understand? Like so, oh yeah, what do you do? I engineer. Like okay, you're the person. Like the first thing, oh, you know how to use all those buttons. You know what I mean? Like that's the first thing they say, but like. People don't realize that engineers are the reason why a lot of them like the actual record they like. You understand? Because of the way it sounds. You understand? People don't get that, but they don't because you don't really see that and it's not glorified. Like it's not glorified to sit behind this computer, you feel me? And to be listening and go, no, the snare needs a little bit more high end. Like who wants to sit there and really sit through a mix like that?
Like the soldiers behind the curtain.
Yeah, but that's essentials. They're like highly necessary pieces, and like when you go to the studio, it's like everybody's learning from me. So like even when I went to places like Platinum and Quad and Premiere, like these are all families. Like everybody, because you spend so much time there. Like if you're really like in it, you spend so much time at the studio. Whether you're doing sessions, whether you're interning, whether you're doing your sessions of your own, like you're just there. So you meet people and you like, oh okay. And if this person sticks around long enough, you build a relationship. You know, like that's how Engine Room was. Like everybody was just there. So it was like everybody was like brothers, and it was like, oh, look at this one. He messed up again. You hear what he did to them? You know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, look, you know, the owner's gonna act crazy today. Wait till the morning meeting.
But that's the other thing. As much as we would give tips and like help each other and bring each other up, it's like when we did actually fuck up, we'd actually even sit each other down like, hey man, you fucked up. But let me talk to you.
Making it hot, okay? You need to calm down. You're making it hard for everybody else around here, okay? We used to do things that we can't do them right now because you were crazy.
And it's different when it's different when it's like when somebody from the top management is telling you shit. It's different when like your boy's telling you, "Hey man, calm down a little bit." Like,
yeah, because listen, we still here. We still at the studio at the same time. Like, cause sometimes like like it was like almost too fun sometimes. Like, dang, like we not at house. We still are at the studio. Because we be there so much. Like it was literally like, and engine room is big, so it was like so many different places to be. Like, and at one we had the roof, so like that was the whole other thing. Like, so if anybody who really like got to be there during most, it was like you just disappear and just be on the roof. You know what I mean? Like that's what we used to do at engine room. Just you guys, oh, we're going to the roof. You know what I mean? Like there's no sessions upstairs. Bet. So that was the engine room we did. And that's where a lot of like my name, like I built a lot from it, did all of that stuff, right? So I was able to freelance and all that stuff because of like the East stuff, like then working with Cass and all that stuff like that.
See what's going on in the chat. Jeff, like synergy, everyone was always ready to share. That's true. Peace, Tyrone. It's not glorified, but it's important what an engineer does. Yeah, he's a student. So people are getting something out of this. I'm glad. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. It's dude, not, but it's just like it's like even if you produce, you should know how to engineer a little bit. Like that's what makes it like people don't even understand a lot of these like the like pop producers, like they engineer. They are not those when it comes to like they know how to edit vocals, compress vocals, EQ. You know what I mean? Like they do a big aspect of their song. It's not like just I made a beat. That's it. Like no, they that extra step. So that engineer aspect is like one of those the ill attribute for everything. Like what I mean, even when an artist, like how like it makes the creativity for an artist how to be able to record themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if you can record yourself, it's just like, that means you might be able to wake up at 2:00 in the morning and just get that whole song out right now. Even though you don't gotta know, like I teach like a lot of my rapping friends, like I always set them up with like a little kit. Like it don't gotta be nothing. People like, I gotta get in a pile of man, go get you this nice little Focusrite package, get you this microphone, and you'll rock out and you'll be okay. Just don't peek out. You see this little line right here? Don't go past it. Listen, I don't know how high you yell. If you stay right here, you'll be Gucci, and I'll never have a problem with you. I promise. And once people get that aspect, they'll build off of that. Yeah, but that engineering is like an attribute to have, like for everything. Like the artists who can record themselves, like what? You know what that means? Even if you work with a producer, like the producer could be making the beat. You can just go record yourself real quick. Like Trey is another person. Trey actually records himself. I was like the first one. I'm like I was actually nervous doing the session with him. Oh no, he records himself. I was like, oh, okay. And then I see him record, like, you think somebody's not, no, he's quick. Using quick keys and punching in. Oh, yeah, nice. Oh, this is crazy. Trey's really recording these songs.
A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, like, you feel me? Like, I'm engineer, but like a lot of times he records himself and then sends it out to get mixed. And what that means is engineer, when you know how to do it, that means you know how to get to your sound just about. You know what I mean? Like, you know how you want your vocal, this comp, that. Like, you can control your aspect, you can take your breaks, all of that stuff. And with the producers, like, that makes like when you send your beats out, your 808's gonna hit harder, your drums, because you know that little extra thing. You didn't just make the beat, now you polish the beat. You know what I mean? It makes the beat when you send it out to people, like they actually want the beat could be mad simple. It could be piano, an 808, hi-hat, and the snare. But because the way it sounds, they're like, nah, load that up. Trust me, I've been in mad sessions where beats was not fit, but they was mixed fire. And they when that 808 dropped and with that shit was over. Yeah, load it up. Okay, I hear you. We about to catch a vibe.
Yeah, they don't understand.
And then that's where like technically they should have, but they wasn't mixed right. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like missed the opportunity because it wasn't mixed. Because you didn't take that extra time to like really check if your beat was distorted or not. You know what I mean? You didn't check to see if like you cut this. And it's like these things are not super complicated. Right. But if you're gonna really be a producer, like maybe you should really know how to EQ your drums.
Yeah.
Because not just EQing to make it sound good, because this is like different textures in sounds. You know what I mean? Knowing how to EQ your snare, how to compress a kick or put in certain things, because each, you know what I mean, each plug is gonna give it a different texture. You know, so if you cut the high end off a snare, it's gonna be, you can take the same snare, but I can do anything with an EQ, 1,000 really go crazy. I can make it do this, do that, with a compression, put a reverb on. It's now we getting spicy. You know what I mean? Like that's what you can do, but like it's one of those things, the ill attribute. And then people who actually can focus on engineering, that's when like they'll be around forever. Engineers always around because everybody wants to say, how do you make this sound better?
Yeah.
The only one who knows how to. Like, you know, like the people in that actual circle. But if you actually take yourself, you're more valuable. The producer's more valuable if he knows how to record. Not to say that he's always gonna record, and but even the artist, if she can record or he can record and make like record themselves, then when she's dealing with an artist, right, they'll know exactly what to say to the person. Oh no, I want a quarter, I don't want an eighth note. You know, like they're like, oh, even when artists do that to me, I'm like, oh, okay. Nah, okay, I see you. You know, a little song. You're like, yeah, that's okay. Now it makes everything, that makes me feel better because it's like I can like, okay, we can maneuver. So now we know we all on the same page.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The artist is not gonna know maybe like what I know. But just to have that little bit, they know what they want to hear and they know how it should honestly there.
Yeah.
So you supposed to get it and polish it off though. Like, cause they're, you know what I mean? They're expecting you to kind of that higher level.
The other side of that is like when a producer or artist has no idea how engineering works, they might ask for things that just don't make sense. You know?
Yeah. Oh man, you get that a lot of times. Like it was a lot of times, like, but you know, with engineering, that's really that's how people really say that you're nice. Like doing things that literally they think is like impossible. Like when you make it possible, oh no, he's dope. It's over. You feel me? Nah, he could do it because I went to like 3 studios and they told me you couldn't do it, and you did. Oh, I'm coming here all the time now.
That's so true.
Yeah, like literally, that's how like really like, and that's how like I really got my name just doing like a bunch of like yeah, I wanted to go over here and then come back over here. Like what? What do you mean? Like that doesn't. I and I sometimes I would even be putting a bunch of stuff on till they said, yeah, I bet.
I'll remember that next time.
Yeah, like that's a new trick for myself because I don't know what in the world that was. Like, to be honest, people don't. I take a lot of tricks from young engineers too. Like a lot of young engineers, because like they have a lot of like these like quick fix plug different things, but like they give it a different texture. You know, so I always like I'm like, what in the world are they doing? What is this? And be like, oh, I put this plug in. I'm like, oh, you overused it, but I know how to use that. Like because they have these different ways of doing things, and different plugins never use, and
yeah,
I'm like, oh. And then sometimes I'm like, damn, this is way better than I would have thought. I'm taking this. Like I have a friend named Sav. Like sometimes he's younger than me. He'll do something. I'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm taking that. And use that in my next session. You know what I mean? Like that's over. You know, like the way they do effects in certain times, they do things, and that's the difference. Like a lot of the young engineers, like that's where I had to learn how to keep up because like the younger engineers, like even I'm 29, like 22, 23, like a lot of them are doing like a lot of the effects and stuff like that, and things like that. So really how I had to keep up is I listen to a lot of EDM music on top of like and stuff. So like all that stuff has like drops. You know what I mean? So like that's where I really like kind of, you know, when they say separate yourself, like that's where like my drops and my edits on vocals and stuff, like that's where I really got my own style from. Like so, like that's how people a lot of know, you know, because I put like the dark voice on vocals and the chops and the beats and like the way I make it not like kind of organic. You know, they're different than what you would say like the regular just drop into the vocal.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like stuff like I guess you say example of that is like what I did in set tripping. You know what I mean? Like so when you hear that throw it up, like those were like I chopped that up, chopped the beat up, did a bunch of other stuff to that record.
Wow.
You know what I mean? That's all because he didn't do ad libs. I was like, Cash, you gonna do some ad-libs? He was like, no. I was like, yeah, just do what you do.
Like, again, back to that whole thing. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, like, what does that mean? Like, just do what I do. I'm like, okay, all right, do what I do. I know. I just leaned back in the chair. And I was small. I was like, okay, all right, and I just started chopping it up. I was like, okay, what if I put a drop here? All right, and filter the beat here, and do all these different type of things, just to like, give it that next level. Because a lot of times, artists have like a picture, when sometimes they work with engineers because they know how to get the picture there. You know what I mean? Like they know how to do like the artist piece, but like the engineer did it and then chopped this piece up and then this piece over here and gave this vibe here. But like you got to be in tune with the artist you're working with, but nevertheless, like they can take that record and then move it to a whole nother level.
Very true.
This is where you get your favorites because like I'm gonna go to this person because this person knows how to get me right. You feel me? I say it. But with this person right here, I feel like Chris Brown. You know what I mean? That's, you know what I mean? Those are the type of things. Like that's where like a lot of like auto-tune. That's why I stuck to. Like people that did not know how to use auto-tune. And it's real simple. Put the key in, turn retweets. That's it. People like, I don't want to sound like a robot. Bring it back then. Just slow it down. That's it. You know what I mean? Till it sounds natural. Like that was like auto-tune. People like, that's up. All right, bet. You know what I mean? Like, and that would keep the people coming back.
Do you have a moment that you were like super proud of yourself? Like, oh fuck, I did that shit. Like when you hear your shit on the radio or something?
Yeah, set tripping. That was like, so I worked with East and like I had some stuff like that kind of like stood out, stuff, but like people didn't really know like, what I did. So when I started working with Cass, because I was kind of I had a point where I was working with both of them. I was like working with like Cass directly, and we did set tripping. And originally, I didn't know that record. He wasn't even signed to Roc Nation at that point. So kind of like independent. So when we did that record, they had found it. I had just came back from Atlanta because I was representing Atlanta. I just flew back, and it was literally the next day. We did a session, and doing the session, I'm like, oh, this is violent. This is gonna go. You know what I mean? Like this is crazy. You know what I mean? So this is the whole time, like now, we do the record, but this is the crazy part. Now, when we do the record, the beat was weird, right? So this is what I mean by mixed. But I'm not mad because this is why y'all got the passion out of the record. But the melody was really high, right? So it made Cat scream, right? Because he was trying to get with like the drums, and that record gave him mad energy. So there's a point in that record where it's distorted. You understand? A lot of people don't know that, but this is what I mean by like having other people who are like high. Because Anthony calls me, he's like, "Oh, I heard the motion in the vocals." I was like, "Huh? You can hear that?" I was like, "Nobody's can hear that." I was like, "It's like, dang." You know what I mean? But he was showing me like how to actually, because like that was the thing with Cass. Like working with Cass was loud. You understand? So like getting him to not distort was like the hardest thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a lot of people don't yell. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing. Like his talking voice was heavier than regular people's yelling voice. So it was like, oh, so when he's going, it was red. Oh, dang. Like, what is this? Oh, we had peaked out compressed like that, like 10 dB reduction. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'm like, oh, this is crazy. So then he told me like really how to like, because really vocal is really strong in that preamp. You know what I mean? So it's really like a lot of people thinking like you could really just get your own preamp. It's not the compression is like for like the sexiness. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's the reality of it, right? The distortion is coming. That's what he's like. That distortion is coming from that preamp. You driving that preamp too hard. You know what I mean? So you thinking that it's cool, but once he gets to that point, you gotta leave yourself some headroom for a person. Like if they are gonna yell, they got headroom to yell. You know what I mean? Because you pushing it to that point where it's just. But if they yell, it's over. It's crunching. You know what I mean? And that crunching only works with the aggression in that record. You know what I mean? That's why it was able to be hidden. But that's when I was like, oh shoot, people really like this. I went to the deli and like, I was like, you don't know about this. You don't know about this. I was like, what? I don't know about this. I mixed this shit. Nigga. What you talking about? He's like, what? Open up my ears. He was like, oh shit. I was like, yeah. Like I'm walking down the walking down the street because I live in Brooklyn. And I'm walking down the street and I'm hearing this in people's cars and I'm like, oh, I'm hearing people's Instagrams. I'm like, oh, this is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, so that was the first record that I would say that like it was like, oh wow, like I'm really here.
Yeah.
Like, I really mixed something on the radio that people heard. You know, it's one thing to just, do a song, came out. No, but this was like, oh, that whole like world of dealing with it was that whole chaos of what it was dealing with, what came with it.
It's affecting people now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. When was that? When did that come out?
Probably, let's go check. Yeah, I'm bored with dates.
Jeff, do you use VU meters? Sometimes, maybe. Not really.
Do I use VU meters? Actually, yes.
Oh, really?
I use VU meters. Mm-hmm.
For tracking or mixing?
Mixing.
Mm-hmm.
Only because I watched the tutorial and it said it like gave you like a how do you say? Gave you better headroom. Like the combination, basically it was saying like, -3 dB, that's what you should be at. Like, but it was like once you're kicking your 808, if you hit that VU -3, usually it'll be good. That's the whole thing with the VU meter.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't use too many VU meters. To be honest, dude, I don't really mix too much music anymore or work on too much music. I'm kind of out of that game a little bit.
Let's mix now too. Recorded and mixing and produce. All that stuff is mixing is like, it's so funny. Like you'll be like mixing to make you want to quit though.
Oh yeah.
You be like, man, like, oh, this is. You'll get a session and the session would be just so crazy. Like the vocals are just like distorted or they just yelling and you're like, oh, I gotta mix this. And you're like, dang, how am I supposed to make this sound right? You know what I mean? It's a formula to it. And like once you understand, like, okay, then the vocal just has these parts where they're messed up, fix it here, then you'll get through it. You know what I mean? It's a formula to it, Definitely. Is it to a point where like, yeah, you don't like it, makes it a little bit harder because of the record? Yeah, happen. But like once you get to the formula, you'll be able to like work it to the point where like you like it because you worked it till you like it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That point, like, okay, cool. You know what? I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna do what I gotta do to get to the point where I like it. This is what it should sound like. Yeah. Well.
So when did you so you said after that record you said like okay, now it's time, now it's my time. It's like I'm starting to come
up. Like I mean, was still working with Cat, so I'm still doing set tripping. So then I did the whole commissary mixtape. I mixed that whole thing. So like that was a whole experience too because I didn't have anybody like around like in my age range that who had like that much pressure on them. Like because like people like, oh yeah, engineer, wasn't just engineering for some dude. Like this is now he's on set tripping, now commissaries come, he's on Rock Nation. You know what I mean? So this is like label stuff. So I felt like this was like a whole nother level of like, I'm like, oh shoot. I didn't even know how this got here real fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this, okay, cool. So now they're like, yeah, we need to mix the whole tape. And they're like, oh, we got 2 weeks. I'm like, oh, 2 weeks? Take off, do everything. I get another call. They're like, oh, you got like days. I'm like, what?
4 days?
Yo, bro, I did that like 4 or 5 days. I did that whole thing. Like I did that whole tape on a laptop. I didn't even have an interface. I had a laptop and some Beats by Dre headphones, like the studio one. The detox one, that's all I had in Pro Tools. Wow. I mixed that whole thing. But when I tell you, I was up morning, noon, and night mixing lyrics, bro. Like literally waking up like at 4 o'clock in the morning, like just listening to it. Like, oh, let me tweak here. All right. You know what I mean? Like, I think the only records I really did in a studio was the Set Tripping record, because that was way before like even this was done, and then the A Boogie, the record A Boogie. I did that. I was able to like touch that up. Like, I did a session at Platinum when they won like 46, and I was able to do like on the top room, finish it off the A Boogie. I did that, and then parts of the engine room too. I mixed Set Trip in that engine room, and that A Boogie parts of that engine, you know.
But
But
everything else
yeah,
was
that was a whole tag. I got stems. That was the first time I got stems. Mixing stems was like not as mixing to a 2-track.
right.
I was like, oh, dude, how do I make this work? Everything's peaking. Like, how do I? It's loud. Damn. You know what I mean? All I had to do with the beat before was just do this, but it don't sound the same when I do that. You know what I mean? So like that was a whole task, and getting through that process. Got through it though. Like that was the dope part. And then one song I didn't do well with the stems. That's what people to think. They think that it's perfect. It wasn't perfect. Like it was one record on there, Catch Your Body. Like I knew that it was, I think it was produced by Jaleel. And the record was just real heavy. But when I did the stems, and I could feel it wasn't the same. It's the same punch, right? So we in a session and Cass plays me. Oh no, this is not it. No, it's not hitting. It's not hitting. Not hitting. He said, go back to the 2-track. You know what I mean? Just put the 2-track back on there, mix the vocals, cool. And I'll be honest with you. He said that, I was so happy, because it was like, now I don't have to take that mental stress. You feel me? Try to get everything to go. Like, but it also was one of those things like now I had to figure out how to work the stems. You know what I mean? Like, how do I get the stems to get to like where that rough version is? You know what I mean? That's what the artist wants their mix to sound like. They just want it to sound like a clean up rough. They don't want you to put your own different, don't use a whole different reverb. Don't put your own delays in there. They want that type of delay that they had in there, you know what I mean? In that rough. Because I've done that too. Like you think, oh yeah, get my version. And they're gonna tell you that's not it. Well, you didn't do anything over here, what we sent you. That's not like that. Where are the delays right here? And where's this? Where's no, I thought, and why did you do this? Take that off. Like you're like, oh. But then you kind of like, oh, it's not about what you want. It's about enhancing what they have. Yeah.
That's it.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not about like, you got to take yourself out of like, oh yeah, it's about me. Nah, you gave you something to enhance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now you're going to take that kick drum and make it bigger. That snare, make the vocals pop and sheen them out. You know what I mean? Because the recording is good, but it could be a little better. You know what I mean? And that's that process.
And now look at you, man. Starting your own studio. When did that happen?
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't only manage this one, but this is in where is this at? Ridgewood. This happened like probably what is it, a year ago. Yeah, so after like I kind of like stopped working with Cass, like personal engineer. Like I still work with him. Like I call him, like obviously we just did the Run the Town records. So I still like being his personal engineer. Like probably 3 4. Because really was like, oh shoot, I kind of like took myself out of like the corporate league for me. Right. So I'm looking for studios, and like I still was doing sessions with people and stuff like that, but not a place where I can like really work. And to be honest, randomly, this studio, the same person, Pete, who like I had met at Engine Room, I was living with him. So at that point, I had a friend named Miles, and I worked at the spot named Vigilante in Brooklyn. And I stopped there because they got another engineer, so it was 3 engineers in one room. So now it's a scheduling room. You know what I mean? You got 3 people who actually like to work in one room. It's not working. So I need space. Like, and what happened was I was just on Instagram and I was scrolling. And I was like, oh, I know the studio. Let me just hit them up. And they had just got some new stuff in here. So I'm like, all right, cool. I can make it with it. And I really just originally just wanted to just do sessions. That's all I wanted to do. And they were like, you want to manage? I was like, what? I was like, I don't have shit else to do. You know what I mean? Like, so I started doing that. I've been here for like, it's probably July, I'll be here a year, you know? And like, that's when I kind of like started to be able to work in like drill music and all that type of stuff like that. It's just coming down to this level made me even better though. Like, cause like it's different, like, you know, playing what I would say like your, how do you say, like your street talent, right? Because you got like your corporate, then you have talent, right? And it's like in corporate, there's a process. Like you have an engineer, then there's the mixing engineer, then there's the mastering engineer, and it goes through these steps, right? Like down here, it's like you're all of these, you know. So you got to record, mix, master, and that's at the end of the session. You know what I'm saying? So now your recording got to be faster. Your template has to be better because you need a cleaner, like overall, you know, signal as you're going. You know, because the finished product, they're expected to actually be able to go on the radio.
Like right after the session.
Like right after this, if I do a 2-hour session, they want this to sound something that they listen to damn it. Like that's how they determine you're good. Not, oh, he can mix. No, if you can mix, then why can't you mix now? Like that's how they look at it. It's like I don't get it. Like you need to go sit down and do something. Why didn't you just mix it here? You know, it's just like, oh, wow, y'all are demanding. You know, but like it really pushed me to like, oh, this is what y'all want to do. Cool, but it really does. So now my recordings templates is better. Like it continues. Like you don't never stop growing. Like that's the whole thing about it. Like because the sonics is like, you know, like it's always it could be better. Like it always be more space. Like it always could be like there could always be a little bit more in depth. Like the kick drum could always be a little bit bigger. Like, but how do it? That's the real question. You know, are you complacent with like, okay, this is good enough? You know, nothing gonna stick out. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. Good enough don't stick out. You want to get your stuff to stick out, so you gotta learn whatever plugin you're using. If you got one plugin, how to use it. You know what I mean? Every aspect that goes for whatever you're doing, whether it's producing, writing, whatever you're doing. Like that's what that really comes into.
I love that. I love what you said. Good enough doesn't stick out.
Nah, it doesn't.
That's great.
Like who anything that you ever do you don't want something that's good enough.
Yeah, you never listen to a record and like, oh shit, that shit's good enough.
That's good. Yeah, that's good enough. Like, no. You want fire, you want things that are fire. Yeah. You know what I mean? You want things that are like, oh yeah, like you could tell that's their time. You know what I mean? Like, so that's where like that aspect came from, like doing all these sessions with the young kids who really don't understand the process. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I can rap. I did my job. So why don't you do your job? But they don't understand. Now it's conglomerate. You know what I mean? Into like 3 different jobs. Yeah. But you don't understand that. But it's cool because it's like it pushes you. So it's like this is one of those things. Like, so what are you gonna do? Either complain that people are complaining that this is not it, or you meet the standards. You know, like, and that's really what it is, and that's what you're really gonna go to. It's like no matter what you do, being an artist, you're gonna get to these points where you get tested. So either you'll turn away or you'll meet the standards. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just what it is. So engineering is like, okay, cool. Like, definitely, I've had sessions where like, you know, people like I had this dude named Pat. He's an engineer now, but Pat, super fast. Like I never forget. I was in a session at Choir with my friend Trav recording, and my man Trav is like, he's good, so he's impatient at certain times, and he's like, yeah, just put a delay right here. Bro, I don't even know. I couldn't even. So he literally he left the studio, got my man Pat, right? Pat came in and just it was just like, you know, that feeling of like, dang, like I gotta get my shit in there. You feel me? Like this is, you know what I mean? For somebody to have to call in to get some delays and, you know what I mean? Like, nah, I gotta get this going. You know what I mean? But those are different things that it was either like you could be hurt and just dang, be upset. Dang, he did that to me. No, I think people want to, when they're in creation mode, they want to work with somebody who can help get that creativity out quick. You know what I mean? Because they're recording quick, they want you to be quick. Right. You know, like that's the whole thing. And every artist is saying, like, you know what I mean? Like some artists are super chill. Like they don't even like, cool. Like, no, whatever. Pace is, you know, they want to start every time they do a recording, start from the beginning of the song. You like that from the beginning. I gotta catch the vibe. You like, all right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's whatever. Like that's how you when you're an engineer, you're kind of like that artist assistant right there for them. You know what I mean? To help get what they get through. You know
Whatever
what I
it
mean?
takes to
Have
get that song. Yeah.
whatever they want to do. Like that's like, yeah, you think I could put this on there? Sure, let's do it. You know what I mean? Because it's like delete. We don't like it, delete it. Nobody knows it was there. You know, like that's the thing. And like so, like, and the artist has to trust you because they start being vulnerable. So they about, you know what I mean? Somebody who like they never really sung before, like they got to be comfortable because like if you're trying to get them to sing, like they're not comfortable. You're gonna have a hard time the whole session.
Mm.
You know what I mean? If somebody who just can't sing, you know what I mean? You think they can't sing, you know what I mean? But they can, but you making them even more nervous. So they're definitely able to hit that note now. You know what I mean? Because you're like, oh, come on, you can do it, you can do it. Like, it's like calm down. Like everybody doesn't react the same. Like, you know, like how I may deal like with Cass when I'm in a session with him. Like I may not be able to deal with somebody a different type of artist. They don't react the same. You know, I feel like, yo, come on, Cass, come on, yeah, we got this. Come on. You feel me? All right, boom. And then somebody that's much it's like, oh, all right. Well, it might be like, yo, you did this, but we just gotta we gotta switch that. Oh, okay, cool. You know, might need a reassurance before you actually like break down because you know what I mean, at that point they're sensitive. And I'm not
Yeah.
trying to say that every artist is sensitive and they're like little babies to the point where like, listen, doing my art here. Don't tell me my art is trash and I gotta be with you for 4 hours. This person thinks that you mean the person recording me thinks I'm trash.
Mm.
Like nobody wants that. You know what I
Right.
mean? If I'm working with you for 4 hours, I'm probably gonna try to make this as right as possible. You know what I mean? Because if I'm gonna be sitting here, you're not gonna leave here. And if I know it could be better, you're not gonna leave, it's not gonna be better. Like because then you're gonna leave there and say, you did this with so and so, you did this with me. People are like, oh, you did that with him? Oh, I'm not going there.
Right.
Oh, I need to do this right because everything is a calling card.
Yep.
My session bounces are calling cards. You know what I mean? Like that's what they are. So when somebody goes, oh, okay, yo, what's his work? Let me hear it. Oh, no, I'm in the studio. Oh, he
Yeah.
did that. Oh, I'm recording with him now. You know what I mean?
Yo,
Experience all those different things.
that's so true. I've heard people literally come up to like engineer friends of mine, like saying like, yo, I heard your snare on that record and I want to work with you. Like,
Yeah. What? So, okay, cool. Listen, whatever's gonna bring it in, whatever makes you like me, whatever, cool. You like the way I do my snares, you like the way I do my snares. I'm cool. Me up.
and that's
You
what it
know,
is.
this is my
It just comes down to that work ethic and that just, yeah, man. Dude, that's a fucking lot of knowledge. So I don't want to keep you too much longer. I know you got a session. What's next for you? What's going on in your life?
I don't know. Like I'll probably just be working probably more into production, probably doing a lot more mixing, stuff like that. I've just been working with more producers. I've been working with this artist named Dion Young.
Nice.
And stuff like no, you know, I mean, just gonna continue to keep working. That's all, leveling it up.
Getting
You
better.
know,
Getting better
yeah,
and
that's
better.
it. You
Where can
know,
people find you if they want to reach out? I think we got
oh,
actually a couple of people in the chat. It was pretty good. A couple of students
okay.
showed up.
Somebody's like, okay, now, all right. Yeah,
They
I
were
mean, they
digging
can
it.
find me on my Instagram. Like, I kind of slack with all that social media stuff, but like, usually I'm probably the most active on my Instagram. They can find Blackheart Supreme. It's spelled exactly how it sounds. You know what I
Blackheart
mean?
Supreme, right?
Yeah. So, mm-hmm.
And
So,
studios, what, LytLyfe?
yeah, LytLyfe Studios, 80 Wyckoff Avenue in Ridgewood. You know what I mean? You can follow them too. And so book your session.
People
Holla
gonna
at
be
me.
running up right to your door like, oh, I saw you on the podcast. Like, who are you? Did you book a session?
Yeah, like, oh, yo, that's one of the craziest parts too. You know how many times, like, certain places and like people have come up to me because I've done so many sessions in like so many like living places. Like I've been in the Bronx. Everybody knows I joke. I'm a studio hoe because like the Bronx over here, then I'll be in Manhattan, and then I'll be in Queens, like with all these different people, and I'm running to you. Remember me? I, now we recorded that song. I'd be like, what? Where? What studio? Come on, give me a studio. The studio, bro. You know?
Yeah,
Oh,
people
okay,
say
cool.
people say you recorded my song at the studio, bro. Which studio are you talking?
Which studio, bro? Like, you know how many studios I worked at? Like, what we do? Like, where do we? Like, this is too much for me. My brain is gonna hurt. You know.
Oh man. Well, look, dude, I appreciate you coming on, and I don't know how the quality, like the audio quality, was cutting in and out for me, but if you got something out of it, that's what
It
it
was
looks
just like,
like.
you know, little staticky there every now and then.
Little stutter
Little,
effects.
little light, you know.
But as long as they got the knowledge, man, that's all I care about. And I appreciate you coming on, man. Like not just for coming on, but like you were actually one of the first GA people when I came into Engine Room. My first memory of you is you teaching me how to make that coffee. And I'm gonna and let me tell you a real story before I let you go. Right? I was not a great intern. I was like just my eyes were just like, what is this?
Yes, that's the thing about
So I remember you telling me how to make coffee, and I was like, okay, cool. I mean, okay, coffee, whatever. Like, where am I like right now? So, I'm gonna tell you this story, and if this gets out, well, fuck it. Anyway, I don't work there anymore. So like, when I was interning, there was another intern called Mark as well, little Mark. We used to call him Little Mark, right? So him and I used to be on the same shift, and I'll never forget this. And if you're out there, Little Mark, I apologize so much for this, but like, he once, we were on shift, and he asked me like, "Hey, how many cups do you put in for the coffee thing?" And I'm like, I don't know, 3. And so like, I just went about my business, right? Big Mark, comes in later that day. And sees him put 3 cups, and he's like, "What are you doing?" Like, "Oh no, I thought it was 3 cups." Like, you know how much money I spend on this thing? And I was like, "Oh my god, I screwed that boy up. I'm so sorry, little Mark."
So that's it, because he wasn't playing about that money and that coffee. So.
I feel it, but what I wanted to say was like, you're the first GA that I knew, but you were always the guy who used to come out and just like drop these little gems every now and then and always help people. And I never forgot that. I think that's why I kind of gravitated towards you. Is like, yeah, this dude's cool. He isn't no ego. He just wants to come in, do a great job, drop a little gem here and there, out.
Them disappearing. See me again in a couple more weeks.
You were like a ninja. It's like every now and then
with new interns. Every time I came, like it was like a reset. It was like, wait, who are you? You wasn't that. Okay, who are you? All right. What school do you know how to? I just be asking questions like, you know, different ribbon and a condenser. They'd be like, yeah, this. Okay, not gonna be you. Like it was like shit was crazy, but yeah, most definitely. I just wanted to see people win. You know, most definitely, like the people at least who want to win. Win, and I can help you.
And that's a great attitude, man. And I always respected that, and I'll always appreciate you for everything. And I hope you do well. I hope you keep succeeding. Yeah. Wait, what? How do you feel about new interns? Yeah, we just talked about that.
How do I feel about new interns?
Yeah, that was one of the questions that came up.
New interns are like, it's not feeling anywhere about new interns. New interns are new interns. Like, those are the people I give chances. Like, new intern, like an intern is on yourself. Like, you determine how you get treated. Like, it's really on the intern. So if you come late, if it's not about knowing anything. People get this whole thing, I don't know anything, so he's not gonna want. No. It's not anything about that. It's whole thing about, can I work with you? Can I teach you to know something? Like, that's the thing. I can't teach you to know. If you come in there, yeah, I'm like, some people come out of school and they really think like they really get this. Like, okay, let's see how you go. You're gonna get chewed up in that session because you ain't deal with none of in that school that they want you to do here. You understand? The stuff they asked you to do here, they didn't ask you to do because your teacher was working with some dude in like the 1980s and they didn't even have that technique. Like, so he's telling you, oh yeah, it's just gonna be like this. And no, you're gonna get there and get smacked. And they want fast, and you don't know quick keys, and you don't know all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, the real thing when it comes down to it, like new interns are like, they're usually the people who are gonna come up after. Like you see, like Andrew, like the people like Leonard, like these were new interns. It was just like, if you know me, I had to filter through all of them. Okay, cool. You don't like to work. Okay, cool. Like it's not about I don't like you. Like you just don't work. So if I'm here to work and I'm only, like you said, I'm only coming into work, right? So I don't need to slow down this process.
Right.
You understand? Like this is you're killing me. Like, okay, cool. I understand you don't get this, right? But I'm really putting people I work with on clock. I mean, Darley, they got put on clocks. Like, bro, okay, after this week, if you don't know, it's gonna be an issue, bro. Like, we can't, like, why do you not know this? We're doing the same repeating thing over again. There's nothing, like, literally
not that complicated. Yeah,
it's not that complicated. Take your after you're done, and then when you're here setting it up, look at the picture. I don't really like. Eventually, you're gonna remember the spots didn't move. You know what I mean? Plug it here, plug it here, plug it here, and do that same thing every time, and you'll be a star. Promise you. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what it really is with the new interns. Like, they can be stars. They can move up quick if they want.
That's true.
If they want, but they just have to have, like, being able to, like, have to have. You know, just because you're a new intern doesn't mean like you're gonna get treated like. There's plenty of interns who came to engine, and because they knew stuff, they moved up quicker than people who have been there for like 4 or 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? With the person 4 or 5 months, like they could barely get the coffee right. So like, it was hard trusting them to put in sessions.
Yeah.
You know.
I love that. It's like, are you here to work or are you here to just what?
Yeah, I'm simple.
What are you here? That's the thing. Some interns, you look at them, and you're like, what? Why are you here? Like,
I want to be a rapper, but you came to be an engineer intern. Do you even want an engineer? No. So this is a little difficult for me to deal with you.
Yeah.
When I need somebody to set up some engineer stuff. Right? What are you here for? Oh, I want to produce. Do you like to engineer? No. Okay, so you're not another person out there. Okay. Do you like to engineer? Yeah, I like to engineer. Okay, cool.
Like, break it in. Yeah.
Follow you follow me. Come on, we're gonna go set up a session.
Dude, that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah, you said it. I don't even have to say it. It's like make what you need to out of it. It's like, that's great. All right, dude. Let me let you go. You got your session, right? At 2?
Yeah, it's coming up at 2. Gotta get ready.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you doing this. I'm gonna cut this up and spread it around. Hopefully the audio is clean enough. I'll probably mix it a little bit.
All right, cool. But, my guy.
I appreciate you, man. It's really good to see you.
All right, seriously. My guy. It's good to see you too. Stay safe.
Stay safe, bro. Let me turn this fucking live thing off. Man, can't get no sponsors.